Yeah, one last question for us then, if that's all right. This question comes from Apricot Dream Smasher,
Good.
and they ask, how does one reach positive/attractiveness levels that Zane has?
What?
You want me to say that again? Okay.
No.
How does one... This is an anonymous user who gave a username saying, how does one reach positive/attractiveness levels of Zane?
What the hell?
This is a real question sent in to us from an anonymous user.
Well, thank you, but what? How do you do this? You faint and you fall face first and you lose half your teeth.
No, and I think that you're not understanding, Zane. I think it's all kind of wrapped into one. Because there have been many times here, because Zane and I do not live in the same town. We live on opposite sides of the country.
Yeah, opposite Minnesota all the way to Boston.
Middle to right side, yeah. Where I will say my friend Zane, and I'll be saying he's such a good dude. He's one of the most positive dudes I know, and man is he hot. And I'll show a picture, and if I hadn't prefaced that he is positive person, they'll say, yeah, I guess so. But if I'll say how positive he is in the first place, they'll say, as long as if he's positive, that's a very hot man, you know? And I'm saying this in a very joking manner, and Zane is just like blushing like a schoolgirl right now.
I don't know what to make of this question.
Zane, how do you reach the positivity levels that you have?
I don't know if I'm supposed to give a real or joking answer.
I want you to do what your heart desires.
My heart desires a DiGiorno pizza.
Afterwards, my friend, I will send you a DiGiorno pizza.
If you want to be as positive as I am all the time, being an optimist means that you're hopeful that things will get better all the time. So you just have to be constantly okay with being depressed that things aren't as good as you want them to be.
Whoa.
It's a very real but very sad question. No optimist is genuinely always happy on the inside.
Sure, nobody's always happy on the inside.
But it's just that you have to be always happy with the concept of being unhappy.
You have to be happy with the concept of possibly being unhappy.
Yeah, and I know it sounds really weird, but like I'd mentioned, if you haven't listened to every single episode, like in the last episode I had fainted and I lost my teeth and I was in the hospital and things like that, but I was cracking jokes the whole time.
And I think that's where this question sparked from. That was the idea that people, whoever Apricot Dream Smasher is, asked and sent in response to hearing about you fainting, losing teeth, and then being like cracking jokes and asking people to film you minutes after it happening before being sent to the hospital. And in lieu of that, they're asking, how does he stay so positive?
It's because like, if emotion's just a state of mind, it all comes down to you just reminding yourself that literally any emotion that you feel is and can be just temporary. So, like, if you want to be sad or angry about the fact that you lost teeth, that's fine. Or you can realize that it's a problem that's going to be fixed, go away with, or something you can get used to eventually, and so you can just start making the most of the moment instead. So, I could have sat there on the ground after fainting and losing my teeth and been like, damn it, at 21 years old, I've already lost real grown-up teeth. Or I could instead start making jokes because at some point I'm going to look normal again and have teeth again, and instead take advantage of the moment, which sounds like a weird thing to take advantage of, but it's something that is just like any other moment, not something that I'm going to be able to experience on the same level or in the same way ever again. There's a realist perspective inside every optimistic mind. It's just that the optimist gets to the positive outcome quicker.
Dang. Quote that.
That whole thing?
No, I mean, I just thought that was great. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you got that moment, Zane. Okay. So then I think that the second half here, I don't even know if I want to get to the second half.
Yeah.
After that inspirational.
Hit me with the second half.
The second half is, how do I reach the attractiveness level of Zane? And maybe this comes from, I have always known Zane to be a person that behind his back or in front of his back, no, not in front of him, had like Zane, you've always had girls just like wanting to date, and you really haven't dated
That's
very
just
much.
not true.
No, it is. I've literally had so many conversations behind your back of girls talking about how attractive you are.
Why did no one ever tell me that?
And I'm not saying this as like a newsflash sort of thing. Clearly, this question asker thinks you're attractive, but I think a huge portion of that, and the reason that I've been friends with you this whole time, and the reason I haven't been friends with some of the people who I was friends with in high school, is not because you're attractive, but because I am attracted to your positivity, just in a social attraction sort of way. And so I think that basically you've already answered it in the way of, if you can be that positive, you're going to be a person that other people want to be around, is what I'm kind of catching here.
That's very
and
true.
what I'm understanding. And you're sexy, Zane.